So Vivian is an advanced Arcturian hybrid avatar in a projected human form. She's an international speaker, a published author, multidimensional healer, and a spiritual teacher. In 2013, she founded Infinite Healing from the Stars to assist people worldwide to heal and to ascend. Through her work, Vivian has developed the Arcturian energy matrix healing modality. It is a multidimensional experiential way of healing, integrating, and expanding. And I have had the opportunity to receive these healings, and I just want you to know they are phenomenal. So do yourself a favor, get a hold of Vivian and book your session. Her first collaborative #1 bestseller book, Wisdom of the Silver Sisters Guiding Grace, is available on Amazon as a published author. Vivian features in the J3 Films 18 times award-winning documentary Extraordinary: The Revelations. It explores the historical significance of ET's presence in specific paradigms, including Ascension. Vivian has given numerous interviews and lectures on consciousness and intergalactic wisdom. Today, she is the producer and co host of the Infinite Star Connections podcast. And in 2022, she joined the Galactic Alliance as an ambassador and an emissary. For information on her meditations, Patreon community, classes, services, please visit infinitehealingfromthestars.com, and I will type that into our chat here in a few moments. But today she's going to talk about Arcturian's fifth dimensional light codes for planetary ascension. And she sent a little update that I want to share with you, because she says that the Arcturians are an ancient intergalactic civilization that helps humanity step into their fifth dimensional ascension self. And today we're going to explore the shift in the organic ascension timeline, the quantum consciousness, and the new cosmic human design, and in the DNA physical template, the roles of the stars, of starseeds, hybrids, and more. The Council of the Great Central Sun has asked Vivian to be the conduit for the new ascension codes. Her intergalactic team will offer a potent, subtle energy body activation to open the celestial communication channels. And so in a moment, we're going to go ahead and to bring Vivian on. So I would suggest that you get a drink of water, you sit back, and be prepared to have your world rocked. So Vivian, come on up.
Thank you, Sheila.
Oh, there she is. Great. Good to see you, Vivian.
Good to see you, Alan, as well.
Oh.
Sheila, Alan, everyone joining us. It's
Are you-
wonderful to be here.
Are you co-host? Are you now a co-host?
Maybe I probably, because I just pinned her.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
See if are you sharing your screen?
Am I sharing screen?
No, are you going to share your screen, Vivian, or no?
Oh, there's, I don't have a PowerPoint
you're just going to
presentation.
talk. Okay, great. So go ahead and take it.
Yes. Well, thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Well, it's definitely such a joy to be here today in this very unique online presentation. So many great people coming together. Alan, again, thank you again for what you just shared. That was incredible. Sheila, thank you for this amazing introduction. And you and I can wait when we do our own Q&A, because we're going to be talking intergalactic to intergalactic, heart-to-heart connection. So everyone, thank you for being here. As Sheila has mentioned, I am known as an Arcturian being in a human projected form. So I want to talk about what does it mean. I want to talk about the implication of the Arcturians. For a very long time in the Ascension timeline, the organic Ascension timeline of Ascension, we'll do some exercise. I like to talk, but also I like to share so everyone can experience the energy, get you activated, clear, open up, and we'll do that as well. In everything that we do, we always provide potent exercises or ways for you all to experience the energy and what we are. I'm a very high frequency being, and I like to start here as well as clearing out some little bit of mental entanglement around some semantics like the word hybrid. There's a lot of energy around that word alone. So in my case, I am definitely direct in Arcturian being. Back on Arcturus, where I come from prior to this incarnation, I'm also part of the High Priestess Council of 12 in Arcturus. And so we have monitored the organic time of ascension of Earth for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And as we're monitoring the timeline, we have come to see and foreseen that the most probable timeline coming to the Earth was the ascension process. So we have decided, we as with the council and myself, I have chosen to come here as a direct ambassador for my Arcturian collective that I represent. But instead of coming as a starseed, a soul emanation coming from Arcturus and coming into a human physical form, we have chosen to create a very specific conduit or a body template, if you would, that will allow me to stay in direct interconnections consciously and also on the holographic field with my Arcturian self, my Arcturian avatar self. So what I did is I sent out a soul essence of myself in a body that was engineered directly through our holographic conscious technology. So here's how we did that, and I want you to bear with me. Think about it this way. We all think about holographic reality, holographic energies. And in my case, what I did is that we have created a holographic template of a body conduit with very specific advanced light technology. We made the template solid and real so you can touch, hold my hands, interact with me. And with a complete biological transfer of carbon-based organism like organs, bones, structures. And what I did is I, as the being consciousness energy, I enter that holographic template to empower that form and experiences everything that comes with it, experiencing emotion, mental energy, joy, fear, love, creating all of these experiences in a very complex holographic body template that is appeared just as solid, as real, and as a reality as anyone here evolving on this earth. The difference is that my holographic body, if you would, was completely engineered by the consciousness and the advanced technology of the Arcturians, and especially we are expert in the holographic field. And so what I did this way, and the goal behind it, it was to bring a very high frequency being that will be among you, walking, interacting, doing healing, presentation, and creating a very direct source of positive shift in consciousness and frequency on the planet and for all life forms, whether we're interacting with human beings, whether it's another galactic beings here as a starseed, whether it's a tree, whether we're talking with the elementals, the animal kingdom, and so forth. So you have to think that we really went above and beyond to co-create this very advanced form of the next level of holographic body template and being able for me to be here on the planet. Because for those of you who may not completely be familiar with the Arcturians, allow me a little bit of back history here. Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet, talked of the Arcturians as one of the most enlightened advanced civilization, intergalactic civilization interacting with the Earth. And what it means is that we're here to help you, Assad. We're here to help you move, walk, and transcend this quantum bridge of consciousness. And we have been preparing for a very long time. So just to give you an idea, we are millions of years old and our lifespan is infinitely longer than that of a human beings because we have those organic conscious technology to regenerate the body, to really project ourselves in ways that we stay in the resonance, the quantum resonance of our being, and with the supreme universal life force that we work with, including other sources like the great central sun, for example. So we're really interacting here with a very advanced level of masters and what they do. And this is why I really felt in my heart a very strong calling for the earth and for all living, all sentient being evolving on this earth. Because one thing we have observed is that humanity carries such a potential, such a force of love within themselves, that we're here to really assist all of us, all of you, to kind of accelerate that process and to tell you, look, we are simply an example of future self for you in looking at reaching that self-mastery for yourself. It is completely possible. It is doable. We have learned from our own long, exhaustive history, and the earth has entered such a level of transition. You're changing era. You're changing era of consciousness, era of living, era of existence. And one of the things is that human beings are given an opportunity to finally return to their original design, as the Earth humans were always meant to be. Earth humans were never designed to be in conflict and create wars and eat flesh off of a dead body of an animal, things like that. Those are completely fabricated behavioral archetype that has been introduced in this 3D matrix reality by other groups. And so we're here to really help you remember, activating the remembrance of your cosmic and divine authority, essence, existence, your identity as complete divine beings of light. In Earth, the original Earth human being, if you think about Lemuria, if you think about the original, the first stage of Atlantis, where you were completely in a state of blossoming, a state of co-creating life, co-manifesting from the real power of who you are, all this ability encoded within you, working in partnership with other intergalactic group, feeling that you are part of a multi-galactic multiverse, an infinite multiverse of life and consciousness, and being able to go on and off planet, utilizing mental energy for building, healing, co-creating teachings, speaking different vibrational languages, evolving in a state of holographic telepathic communication. Those feel like all fantastic semantics, but in reality, they are a very natural state. But it's just thing that because of the great fall into the dark light polarity, all of these aspects have been simply forgotten, pushed aside, and replaced with feeling insecure, 3D linear time construct, lower egotic mind that tells you what you cannot do, the limitation, looking at external source to see if your body is healthy or not, counting on others to tell you, are you doing right? Are you healthy? Are you in your power? What you need to do, all the labels that we take on, and all the distortion of all of these behavioral type that we take on like costume, and we pile them up like layers, And it comes to the point that, of course, you forget ultimately who's underneath all of it. So today, beyond everything else, we really invite you to have more of an inner exploratory state. It's very much a rediscovering the inner universe that you carry within you. And we hear about the words hybrid, starseed, the DNA activation, the 12th strand of awakening, and all of this. But what does it mean to you? How do you apply it every day in your life in very tangible form? So the invitation is really to understand very much who you are in your inner universe, so to understand. And one of the things that we always say is changing the language that you speak about yourself. Ask different questions. And I'll give you an example of this. I do a lot of healing work. In fact, this morning I was working with two amazing women from Romania, and what we did was phenomenal. And so one of the questions I was asked, it says, Vivian, my eyes are shifting. When I look at the computer or I look at the screen of my device, my eyes get blurry. My vision is shifting. What is wrong with me? I need to go see my doctor to tell me what's going on. Maybe there's something off with my sight. And I said, let's stop here. You're working with a very advanced master intergalactic beings with me, and you asking us what's going on with my vision with a 3D concept question. Now, did you see here the paradox? And that's exactly what we're inviting you to, is shifting the language about you. My eyes get blurry when I spend time on a computer. Step aside, close your eyes, clear your mind, take several deep breaths, ask your eyes. I need to understand what is shifting with my vision. Show me. Now, people will say, I don't see things, I don't hear things, but you will feel it because your body speaks the language of energy. Your body understands, your soul knows. So if you start asking these questions, you're starting to attune yourself to activate what we call your multidimensional senses, your multisensory points. You're moving beyond the physical senses that we have relied so heavily on. What I see, hear, speak, touch, what is visible, palpable. But beyond that, you are coexisting in a reality that is shifting. It's going to reveal itself to you. So let's start by asking different questions, because that triggers, even on the brain level, it triggers different energy and connection even to your neural pathways. It shifted your cognitive faculties of recognizing more of a multidimensional reality. And we are, all of us, regardless of the labels or the semantic we use, we all are multidimensional holographic beings in nature, even though you only feel what you feel, touch what you touch, and so forth. So in that sense is when you start to understand the language of your inner universe, now your body is a conscious holistic system of quantum energy, quantum communication. Everything vibrates within you constantly, and that vibration emanates a language, emanates waves of information that is transmitted everywhere. Your cells, organs, systems, your bones vibrates like radio tower. So it's a different form of evolution indeed. By shifting the language, we are also helping all of us, even on the 3D mundane world. You are shifting your reality. You can coexist in this 3D reality, but think of it this way. Imagine it that you are in parallel to it, as opposed to be completely engulfed and entrapped in it. You're starting to step outside and you walk in parallel to it. People after time ask me, most of the question I get was, Vivian, how are you functioning? How are you able to function in this field of the 3D day-to-day reality and still be a high frequency being? And the answer to that is because I constantly visualize, feel and reattune my vibration and find that I am in parallel to it. Literally, I do see myself being in parallel. And that's my invitation for you. And we'll do a little exercise in a moment to help you already shift your vibration. So we're going to feel it today. It's not just talking. We're going to experiment. And that's what we chose to do. So stay with us because we're going to bring you into our field and allow you to feel it. I ask my council, my group of Arcturian that I represent, I have about 33 to 34 Arcturians who are assigned to my Earth life journey here on this mission that I'm on. And I'm constantly in telepathic communication. And what does it mean to us? It means that we are transferring, exchanging, sharing, if you would, a soul aspect of ourselves. So it's very much of a soul aspect that I share with them in a form of thoughts. And when they receive it, which is the speed of thoughts, it's done at the time just to think about it, it's already sent out. When they receive that energy, it is an aspect of my soul essence, convey all of my mental energy, emotions, it convey all the messages, the codes, the symbology, everything. Can you imagine if we talk like this? Oh my goodness, we would understand each other above and beyond. When we say we see you, it would really mean we see you. So this is how we communicate. The same thing with my group. They communicate in the same form of transmission. And my body, again, my body being a hologram in solid appearing form, engineered by expert master, it automatically translates into English form. It goes right into that translation. This is why I'm able to speak to you at the same speed as they're transmitting their thoughts to me. So this is how we communicate. So we talk about the language because the language also allows you to shift your vibration. Your vibratory rate or your vibrational state, if you would, determine also your level of spiritual awakening. Where are you today? This is a good practical way you can utilize to monitor where are you on a day-to-day. Now today I woke up, I felt heavy, or I came back in my body too quickly, or I felt the energy. It is possible that you are energy sensitive and an empath, and you are feeling the energy of the earth shifting. You're feeling everyone in their own biotransformational process, and it's all translated in a big ball of emotion that you feel like, whoa, feel like it's really right here on my upper track of my lungs. I can feel in my higher heart. So allow yourself to be in more conscious communication with yourself allows you to monitor where do you stand? Where are you at any particular point? Now, like right now, take a deep breath and clear. What are we doing right now? More than speaking with you, we're interacting with you. Because everything that we do, we also transferring frequencies. So we are encouraging you, teaching you, coaching you, even in the subtlety of your field or at the soul level. We are speaking to you and with you at all level. This is why it's more of a conscious multidimensional form of language. And if you hear, we take the time to make some pause. The way we speak, the way we carry and convey information coming from us, because remember, I'm part of a very advanced collective that we know as the Arcturian, and I am one of them. The difference is I'm here on the planet as opposed to be on the ship. So everything that we convey, whether it's a meditation, whether it's a presentation with this amazing online conference put together by the Galactic Alliance, whether it's an in-person speaking engagement, will be many opportunity for that. Whether it's a healing session or a group session, everything that we carry has a purpose. And what is the purpose ultimately for us? It's your empowerment, your healing, to see you blossoming every day and every time into a higher form, to see you coming out of shells, healing the past, clearing sources of influences that no longer serve you, whether it's ancestral, maybe it's historical to the earth, whether it's cultural, depending on where you are on the planet. Each country has their own imprint to heal their own wounds, whether it's family, whether it's your own bloodlines. So there's a lot of opportunity to clear all of these mental, emotional entanglements that has defined what is possible, what seems to be impossible, what you can do, what seems to be impossible for you to accomplish, and so forth. We're transcending all of this. So let's take a deep breath and let's do a little quick exercise. We're going to help you. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to help you to connect your multidimensional tunnel of intercommunication within yourself. We're going to be using the heart and the throat chakra. It's going to be a short exercise. It's going to be worth it. So stay with us. And if you would, please, right now, just make yourself very comfortable. If you are sitting down, we always invite you feet on the ground to allow your spine to be open, rolling your shoulder backwards a little bit, open your lungs, feel that you're breathing, and being able to feel the midline of your body aligned all the way down to the pelvic floor. So perfect. So thank you for closing your eyes just for a moment. Just stay with us. And let's take a moment just to feel your breath. How deep is your breath? Allow yourself to consciously breathe a little deeper and slower. Opening your lungs with the virtue of joy, joy of feeling the sacred rhythm of life within you. The joy of knowing that you are here by soul design. Yes, you have brought with you a very specific soul design, your soul blueprint. So let's breathe into your own divinity, your light, your I am presence. I am that I am. Allow your breath to flow like a sacred river of light flowing throughout your body, opening your spinal column, expanding your nerving endings of your spine, and creating a beautiful, peaceful energy of relaxation, stepping into what we call cosmic contemplation. It is a time to truly tuning in into your inner universe. There's wonders to discover, wonders to remember. And now on the next breath, to see and feel that you're redirecting your breath through your heart center, opening the sacred gateways of your heart. Beautiful. Just keep breathing to your heart. And in time, you will also rediscover the sacred chalice of light within your heart. It is the most sacred place there is. Let's take a moment to breathe to the gateway of your heart, as we are also sending you our Arcturian frequencies healing, helping you to release any heaviness, tensions, emotions you may have absorbed from others, loved ones, in your city, countries, or wherever you are around the globe. Just breathe everything out and let the light comes back in to elevate your thoughts, your feelings, your presence. Beautiful. We're going to let everything flow through your heart. And now on the next breath, just see and feel now that we're redirecting your breath through your throat chakra. the sacred divine center of communication. Feeling the activation on the front and the back of your throat chakra. Releasing also tensions around your neck area and your shoulder blades. Just breathe to your throat chakra, breathing out any form of oppression, unworthiness, any fear of communication, any imprints, whether it's from upbringing, cultural background, society, past lives, and any other imprints that no longer support you today, right here, right now. Breathing through your throat chakra with the intention to reclaim that I am an effective communicator. I choose my words with wisdom and presence. Beautiful. Let's just take a few more breaths through your throat, really expanding this important channel within you. And we are still sending you Arcturian frequencies, healing of light. Beautiful. And now on the next breath, just see and feel that you are bridging, creating a conscious bridge between your heart center and your throat. You can feel your breathing in through your heart, exhaling through your throat. And you can also interchange. We are creating a quantum bridge of connection and information between your heart and your throat chakra. Perfect. And as this bridge is being created, we're going to also open the sacred gateway of your crown chakra, connecting you to the multiverse, receiving the sublime universal flow of divine light. It is through your crown chakra that we're going now to harmonize all of your internal gateways of light and communication. It is a complex system of multidimensional energy conduits that allows you to connect consciously and unconsciously to the multiverse, to your star brothers and sisters, to the angelic realm, the celestial realm, and all there is. All you have to do is just stay consciously present and allow the sacred flow through you. You may feel it even flowing through your spinal column, all the way down to your feet. We are also gently balancing your chakra system, including the multidimensional aspect of your chakra system. Just keep breathing into the light. And now see, feel, or simply imagine that you are a beautiful conduit of pure energy, open, flowing, grounded with the earth as you are connected to the multiverse and the creator of all there is. You may visualize or imagine a sacred cosmic tree of life, with the tree's roots being through the sole of your feet, being very solid, grounded, balanced, and anchored into the core of Mother Gaia. And feel through your legs and the midline of your body, that is the midpoint of your tree, coming up to your heart, and from your heart up to your crown, you are expanding your cosmic branches. Remember that you are an infinite being of light. And just simply continue breathing deeply and slowly. And feeling your inner cosmic tree, your universal tree of knowledge, strong, balanced, connected, and expanded. It allows you to step outside the limitation of three-dimensional linear time construct. You move beyond the three-dimensional lower mind, concept, languages. Allow you to expand beyond all of this. And to simply realize and feel within you that you are truly a multidimensional being. You carry within you ancient wisdom. And you have access to any advanced spiritually and enlightened civilization, consciousness, including the great council of your sun and the great council of the great central sun. Let's take a deep grounding breath. Breathe in and release. One more time, deep breath in and release. And now we invite you to see and feel that you have returned in full consciousness back to your body, still connected to all there is, grounded, solid, centered, and self-assured. And remember, I walk in life in the certainty of my light. I walk in life in the certainty of my light. I am that I am. The process is complete in 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. You can now open your eyes gently. And when you do so, just allow yourself to really integrate and be present, feel. And take a moment just to feel already what has shifted for you, what has already brought into peace. So what we do is that it was a very quick, very effective way to not only to shift your frequency so you can dial in, but also bring yourself into a more resonance of connections, vibrational alignment with yourself. And that is very, very important at this point of time, to be in that energy. Perfect. I would like to hear if anyone has, at this point, some comments, feedback about what just happened, and already when they have shifted for you. We feel at this time more than anything else, it is very important to support everyone in these very important changes. And then you will see there are new information, knowledge coming back to the planet that's going to really help you to release mental confusion, because there's so much bombardment going on right now, so much level of information and semantic use, words use, and all of this. It's always about coming back to the centeredness of who you are and understanding. And ultimately, you are truly part of a very vast network, a multi-system of energy conduit that your earth are connected to. And your earth connects to this energy conduit to a multitude of interdimensional timeline associated with like Arcturus, Sirius, the Andromeda Galaxy, Alpha Centauri, Orions, Lyra. And you are really much, the earth is a very multidimensional system of connection. And that is really important to understand, that in order for you to really embrace the shift, stepping outside of the fear paradigm or what it seems to be fearful, or what seems to be, different from you. In reality, it's not that's different from you. It's simply another aspect that can be complementary with you. And this is part of what I have chosen to be, embodying this humanized form to allow to have a voice that says, now you're going to be listening to us because you can relate to us. Being able to experience this, integrate, learn from it. Can you imagine if I were coming right in my Arcturian form? I have people who have seen me publicly shift in my Arcturian form. I am personally about 10 feet tall, very lanky, like very, very tall, lanky arms, no hair, a little bit bigger eyes, and loving energy, but very, very powerful and such a high frequency presence. I would say, hey, let's come meditate with each other. Let's come see me in my next conference. Many of you would say, yes, I'd like that. But the reality of you being in front of a being like this, it's another reality. And we are preparing you. We're really helping you. We're walking with you to get in that space. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and we have a share from Rick, who says his experience of Arcturian energy is what he describes as a timeless presence that visits itself on appropriate people and circumstances, a rarefied timelessness. Thank you for bringing that into your meditation. And then Bobby says, I wish to send a gift to you and the Arcturians in return for your generous support, but all I have is the love from my heart, and I thank you.
Oh my goodness, what love is all we need. So thank you so much, Bobby, and thank you also, Rick, for your comments. I love the way, Rick, you describe your experience with the Arcturians, and Bobby, your gift of love is also what we share with you. It is very, very much in that sense we're here for. And I would say even moving forward, anything that you listen to, anything that you accept in your reality that may potentially create fear, doubt in yourself, or any form of lower experiences, just disregard it. Clear that out of your field. It's at this point of time, we are moving into another wave of acceleration. And we're at the end of August. We're finally coming out of a very intense funnel of energy. We're moving into September all the way to the fall equinox. After the fall equinox and the summer solstice, for those who are on the other hemisphere on the planet, we're going to move into October, November. It's a very powerful, another powerful conjunction on the planet. So what we are focusing on right now, more than anything else, it's really to preparing everyone's field. Your magnetic field or your electromagnetic field is shifting. This is part of the new cosmic human design coming in. And I'll tell you also, there's this beautiful diamond crystallite light that is returning more and more. And even through the rays of power, we're going to move beyond the 7 rays. We're bringing back the silver ray, and we're going to be eventually bringing back the platinum ray. And we need to, by stages, prepare ourselves. Prepare ourselves in the sense that we are mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually in alignment with ourselves. So we want to bring you back to the essential of living at these points. And then later on, we can talk about more complex concept and different form of knowledge. Our goal is to really co-create stepping point together to really bring you in a point that it is completely natural. And we'll be able to have those dialogues above and beyond, and it no longer triggers any form of fear or energy in that sense. Because I've seen that as people either embrace who we are very much so, or there are those who are still fear us. And I see that still playing out in that paradox of realities. Sometimes people tell me, oh, you look too humans. Sometimes people tell me, oh, you're too much out of this world for me. So you can see that humanity is still oscillating between these 2 points. So we're here as a bridge, a conscious bridge to help you integrate at your own pace, integrate along the way, and see you shifting into your new structures of light, who you are. What does it mean that your DNA is shifting? What does it mean to have 12 strand of DNA or a 6 double helix configuration? How does it apply to you right now? Helping you to move through the new era, moving out of old structures. Yes, we'll talk about the different body structures. We can go to 13 structures. We can go to more than that if we want to. But how does it really helping everyone to be able to walk the step, integrate, build solid foundation for yourself? And Sheila, with your permission, I would like to clear the way around some semantics to really help to, is that okay, right?
Oh, yeah. I think that's exactly the question I was getting ready to ask you. So you've read my mind.
You and I, it's incredible. So we hear a lot about the word hybrid. And so when I became public, officially public back in 2013, the word hybrid was accepted in a different form. And the word hybrid was understood in a different form. So when I came out, my very first public interview was as, my name is Viviane Chauvet, I am an Arcturian hybrid. In that sense, that was my introductory statement to says, hey everyone, it's time for us to get acquainted. We're going to be working a lot together, and this is what and who I am. So the word hybrid has many, many connotations. We hear about government or hybridization program, shadow government, grays, reptilians, and all of this. We understand as Arcturian that this is part of this matrix reality that you're still shifting from. When you're looking at the word hybrid, you have to look in terms, who are you really speaking to? What does it mean? And how does this word apply to the reality of the being you're speaking with? So in my situation, I am an Arcturian being. My body is the hybrid. You see the difference here? And I was engineered directly with and from a very loving, very advanced mastery level civilizations, which I have absolutely nothing to do with the concept of hybrid as you recognize it in your matrix reality. Now, the human race, we know that human beings are intergalactic royalties. And why do I say that? It's because within the DNA template of humanity, you have over 20, 21, potentially 22 different strands of intergalactic beings mixed with the baseline of human beings. In that sense, Earth human beings, in that sense, can be considered as a race of hybrid. But to tell that we all hybrids, that is to be taken at different octaves of reality. It really depends of who you talk to. So I like to take another example. My dear friend and beloved Sheila here, you can be utilized the word hybrid, but for you, the word hybrid and the word starseed no longer really apply to you as well, because you are transcending into a different reality. The way you came about here, you came about from a different level of reality. And I love that about you. I love that about you. So you have to look at like those who have like walk-ins, those who have come directly from another star system or a galaxy or a multiverse and brought in and enter on already a body consciousness. The body can be considered a hybrid, but not the consciousness that inhabit the body. And that's part of the differences that we want to bring, because it helps to heal the stigma, the fear behind it. We're here to diffuse those energy and help you step into your true power. Because when you are able to heal and step away from fear energy, there's nothing to stop you, literally. And then communicating with advanced intelligence at an inspiring level becomes absolutely available at your fingertips. I think I got your attention here, Sheila, didn't I?
Yeah, here. I have a question for you,
Yes.
and maybe something that you could share with people. Many people talk about having that they're Arcturian, and could you talk with people about how their family lineage is being activated within their DNA?
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for bringing that up. So, like Syrians or Pleiadians, Arcturians, we have sent out many of our people on the planet to assist. And there are people or Arcturian starseed at different point on the planet. We're not that many of us, I can tell you. We are rather rare birds because even being here in a physical body, it's very challenging even on the soul level. So the difference is that we have different soul emanations who've come from Arcturus, have come travel through the energy conduit of the Stargate that we have created to connect directly to the Earth. And then those souls have come back from our realm and incarnate into different, Earth human body. And after time to help that soul, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes the mother who carried that child may have had receive additional DNA to help to support the Earth mission of that soul. And so in that sense, they can be considered a hybrid, but you see the difference here. They are still coming into a body template that was created from the mix of a mother and a father in this earth, in this reality, in this density. And so they bring into the body, and then they're born, and then the body, the soul understand that they come from Arcturus and they go like, I'm an Arcturian. So on that level, yes, they are Arcturian. They are Arcturian star seed, and they have come in that form of taking a human form, and they were born the traditional way, even though they may have received additional DNA while being in the womb, and that's okay because that's support system. We also have many points of contact. So that means that the Arcturians or a group of Arcturians will choose a person or a group of people to work with them, and they will be taught, instructed in our ways. They will be introduced to our wisdom. They will be introduced to an aspect of our philosophy to help to bring the next level of ascension, consciousness awakening, healing, to be able to shift the frequency. So these are the ones that we call our point of contact, whether they're teachers, channels, authors, or people can be working with them all their lives. It doesn't have to be public, but they do amazing work behind the scenes. So again, that's another level where there's many points of contact on the planet. We have our star seeds that have come. In my case, is I'm an Arcturian being directly in this holographic human form, and I was not born on Earth either. That's a difference also with who I am. Again, I know people say, well, you look a lot human. Yes, that's the idea, that I can project that human form. But if you pay really much attention, you will see the difference. You will feel it. Sheila knows. Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Nadi is also thanking you for a magnificent activation, said it was very affirming to her, and that the energy is coming through your transmission. It's very powerful for her, and she's feeling it.
Beautiful, beautiful. I'm so happy, Nadine, and that's exactly why everything that we do, we want to give you an opportunity to feel us, to experience who we are. And if you look, there's so many light workers on the planet, and we're very grateful for you. Whether you are participating like today, like all of you listening, whether you are doing hands-on Reiki channels, there's a lot of people who are different. There are different level of intergalactic communicators. They communicate with a vast arrays of groups, so they serve their purpose. There are those also who are a different form of hybrids, and they recognize who they are. They have chosen to bring in a very high level of frequencies and unique vibration that the earth and everyone here needs for the next level of light body ascension. This is what really we're moving into. But to do that, we need to clear ourselves. And we need to be mentally, emotionally, etherically, and all of the above in alignment with who you are. So at this stage of where we are, we said, listen to your intuition, get to know your inner universe, get to know who you are, what you carry within you. Do you really know who you are? Do you really know the full extent of your potential? And everyone starts just to focus on that. Can you imagine the change we can do tomorrow? And then we can physically appear to you. Then we can take it to the next level with you because you will be ready completely at that level. So we always says to be able to shift in that fifth dimensional reality, you really need to cut the etheric cords that are holding you back. Whether it's attachment to the third dimensional reality, whether it's to clear your mind, whether it's clearing to the earthly concern, where's my money coming from? What's going to happen to this, to the medical field? It's more in terms of clearing these entanglements and reactivating the power that you carry even within your hands, like being in that energy. And then your auric fields start to open, your solar bodies of light start to glow and vibrates in whole different frequencies. Then you can start to say, I'm able to communicate consciously with higher intelligence. And it's always in that sense of ultimately, come back to your heart center. You carry so much power in your heart. It is phenomenal. We see the electromagnetic energy of your heart glowing in ways that it generates so much energy. Imagining combining that energy together for the common good, for the highest good of all, including all kingdoms that you're cohabiting with. What I mean is that mineral resources, earth, animals, considering all life, the sacred intelligence behind all of this, to look at the sacred design behind all of this. And we'll tell, our dialogue will change with you because we have more come. But for now, we feel that really grasp the energy of what we feel will support you the best. And then we'll have a different conversation together, right?
And Jimmy is wanting to know if clairaudience is the fastest and most convenient way that you communicate with your Arcturian family.
Oh, I love this question, Jimmy. While clairaudience, it's certainly an aspect of channel. I'll tell you something more effective. It is to your heart center. Whenever you feel that I wish to connect to the true, real, enlightened Arcturians, the real, genuine one, feel it to your heart and feel that you're sending out a thought, an intention, a desire. And I can feel that your heart center will combine with to your higher mind, and that desire in the form of a thought forms, it's sent automatically and they will receive it. It is even faster. It's the speed of thought, but it comes from your heart. Arcturians were very heart-oriented, heart, third eye connection, that sacred bridge. Very much so.
And you're able to telepathically connect with your family, but also you make visitations to the ship pretty often, correct?
I do. You have to feel like physically, I am technically designed to be on the ship. I am designed to vibrate in a higher dimensional space. So again, the requirements for me to stay on this planet are very, very big, more than it meets the eyes. So it's a really collective effort to maintain this form so it can still be functioning, healthy, so I can maintain my balance. So I have to be on the ship. I go back to our regeneration chambers using our technology to be able to recalibrate, receive upgrades. I've been receiving for the last 2 weeks a lot of upgrade in the new holographic field that I'm holding in place. I wake up in the middle of the night, like I'm walking around my room. I can feel myself as a hologram. I'm no longer solid. I know my body walks. I can see my legs and my feet moving, but I don't know who or what walk this body. That's because I'm reverting back to my holographic state, and that allows me to receive the next level of upgrades. My DNA is a bit different. The codons of my DNA is a bit different. And that too will be revealed in time because there's a purpose for this. My brain function also has different configuration. My chakra system has little adds on to it. It's configured in a little bit different way than the usual chakra system. And I have worked with real intuitive, medical intuitive, and psychic people who I trust. And they said, Vivian, we cannot work with you. We don't understand how your functionality, even in your energy field, we see things that we don't understand. And that's why the Arcturian come and they said, this is our technology. We'll work with her. Don't worry about that. We'll take care of that. So there's a lot of different implication that is non-visible to you. At the same time, that will be in time revealed because my true mission is coming in. I'm here for the future timeline. So in the meantime, I'm supportive. I do a lot of work. Believe me, I work around the clock with people worldwide, with the Galactic Alliance, where we do the project and all of this. I'm very dedicated, very involved. At the same time, this is just the tip of the iceberg. What we have, it's really coming through, and I can't wait to be able to share more with you.
Carrie wants to know if you could explain further the connection between the heart and the throat chakra.
Yes, of course, with pleasure. That's a great question. So what we've done earlier in this exercise is what we call opening your multidimensional channel. And oftentimes what we see, because even through historical timelines in the humanity history, there's been a lot of oppression done to your throat, and also a lot of compression and oppression done to your heart center. So what we just did a moment ago to the exercise is to reopen the flow of both throat chakra of expression, heart center, center of ascension. And what we do is that we can feel like a quantum bridge of interconnection between the two to help to strengthen your communication, the wisdom of your heart, and being able to communicate in different facets, even on a multidimensional level. So we start by creating that flow and that bridge of communication there to allow to clear your internal gateways of light. Because when we look at the human body template, we see it as a hologram, as a holographic energies, and we can see how all the systems are functioning and interacting with. It's like looking at from a helicopter, looking at a very complex system of highways, and to see how everything interconnects, what is blocked, what seems to be, reducing the flow, what is really open and flowing, and what needs to be restored. So it's an image I'm giving you, but it's something very similar. And so today what we've done is to allow these codes of light to come through you with more ease and releasing residuals of blockages, resonance, and anything else that is still getting in the way to help you opening all of your clairs, your channels, and also allowing yourself to vibrate higher in the fifth dimensional space. So in a nutshell, that's my explanation. I know when we start talking, it's just things are flowing so much.
Beautiful. And Bonnie wants to know, are Arcturians familiar with arrhythmy, the art of movement based on sounds of speech and music? It's also known as visible speech and visible music.
Beautiful. Well, we may call it eurythmy here, but we see it just differently from our perspective. Remember, it's all about perspective and semantics, but ultimately it can be considered as a form of higher languages that allows you to stay in sync with the heart and the pulse of the universe and get you in sync in that space and opening and activating those points within you. And that's what serves you well in that practice. Then more power to you for sure.
Awesome. And Chris wants to know, would you say that telepathy is instant heart-centered communication where there is no separation?
Beautifully summarized, Chris. Indeed, it is a great way to bring a summary of the essence of what telepathic communication is about.
Beautiful. Now, I want to ask you just a little bit more. Everybody's talking about this energy and that energy and things that are to come. Can you share a little bit from the Arcturian perspective about some of the energy shifts that will be washing this planet pretty soon?
Yeah, absolutely. What we are witnessing is that we're shifting from a polarity, dark light polarity, and fragmented reality that was encouraging separation, fear, anxiety, and all of this. And we're shifting more into a more unified. This is what we call unification process. And we understand as an Arcturian because we have gone through the unification process millions of years ago. This is why Arcturus is also known as the realm of unification. We have reached that level. So what we are watching, witnessing, this new changing of era that we were talking about, and this timeline change, the era we are shifting out, it's very much an era of predominance of third dimensional carbon-based linear time, fragmentation, dualistic reality that simply human beings have gone used to and accepted over time because it seems to be the norm. But now we're shifting what is normal and we're rediscovering that to say, wait a minute, we are divine beings of light, regardless if I'm a starseed, a hybrid, a being of high consciousness, an angelic being, an elemental. Ultimately, we're all leading to the fact we're divine beings. And the answer is yes, you are divine beings evolving in the one mind of creator. And through that one mind or that one dimensionality of creator, there's multitude of sub-reality, whether it's multiverses, dimensionality, plane of existence, different octaves of light. And we are returning to understand that we are in a very complex, evolving, conscious, sublime multiverse of energy and intelligence. So what we're seeing on the planet right now, you are moving out more and more and more into this very deep funnel of dense energy, of that dualistic, polarized reality. And we're moving back into community-based. People are yearning to communicate with each other, to help each other, to be able to return living more in harmony with nature, to feel the pulse of the planet, re-harmonize yourself with the sacred pulse of the universe, even through your solar system. Did you know that all the planets in your solar system have already ascended? Earth is the last one holding the space, this quantum bridge between three-dimensionality to fifth-dimensional. That bridge is held in place just to help you, all of us, moving and being able to move in that directions. So as we mentioned earlier, as we're shifting to the fall equinox or summer solstice for those who are in Africa, Australia, New Zealand, all this place on the hemisphere, we're moving into another shift to allow a greater expansion, to start to move into a more unification so we can heal, expand, understand, bring back this consciousness, and ultimately reunion with your higher self, reunion with your star brothers and sisters, reunion with the many councils of light, and to know that the earth is part of an infinite design. And you finally start to feel that you are part of something magnificent, not fragmented.
I have a comment about the light language behind you. Can you speak to that?
Yes, of course. So this is my business logo, as you can see on my website. And this is just an aspect of my logo. So many years ago, Brian DeFlores did this. He created a very unique vibrational like language that speaks of my soul journey coming from Arcturus. I want to have my story encoded in the form of a language or codes on the logo. And you'll see there's more to it when you look on the website. There's also blueprint of ships, On each side, you can see the bottom emanation of one of our core crystalline blue planet. And this is designed to help everyone activate. It can be like, this has been like almost 10 years ago that is made for me. But even to this day, these logos that is encoded with evolving energy and evolving codes of light still helps people today to activate, awaken, evoke something in themselves, awaken ancient memories, and so forth. So this is why it has become officially my logo, because this is made for me. It's what's called a personal, and I'm very grateful for that.
Beautiful. Okay, someone private wants to know the energy that you're talking about. Is that propelling us into the ascension? And if so, how close is it?
There's no quantification of time. We're always asked to be mindful of whatever prediction you've been told. Oh, by 2024, we're going to be there, or it's going to take 200 years, or it's going to take that. These are predictions that still correlates a little bit into the quantification of time in 3D. What we say is more of the rhythmic changes, is the changing that the timeline has been ongoing right now. And if you pay attention, you'll feel it in yourself, the way your body is shifting, whether it's sleep pattern, whether it's your vision, whether it's your senses are shifting. This is the best measurement of time of how things are really shifting. This is why, again, we invite you to rediscover your inner universe, because your inner universe is much more in sync with the organic time of ascension and the pulse of the universe than any prediction can tell you. This is, again, mental entanglement. To tell you there's a direction, a flow, yes, there is. And we will tell you at what point of the flows are coming more, like I mentioned earlier, again, with the equinox and the solstice coming in, moving by the end of the year, December, even the window of time of winter solstice moving into 2023, you're going to be already in a new timeline of energies. But always feel the pulse within you, what is shifting within you. You're the best measurement of this. Feel the earth, feel the core and the physical body of the earth to your feet. Open the energetic field of your feet. You will see that. You will really, really, really see that moving into the energy. And I would say, we will say collectively that right now, even to your own electromagnetic field, your torial field, you will know how much is shifting. And so you will feel that there's a pulse. Because if everyone on the planet is consciously making the choice every day to concentrate on the shift of light, the shift of consciousness, then you can accelerate that. But if there's still opposition, resistance, with it being hooked on, whether it's belief systems, religion factor, cultural factor, and that's fine. But the thing is that is also shifting the direction. So where are you investing your thought forms, your energy, your light, your power every day? And that's what makes a difference in here. I hope that makes sense.
Yes. Okay. And then the other thing is, since we are the last planet literally to move into the 5D, once we do that, what's going to happen with our universe or our known universe? What will happen to everyone at that time?
What do you mean by
And
what will happen? Can you clarify that for me?
how are we that's going to be moving into 5D? How does that affect Mars, or how does that affect Venus, or how does that affect the Andromedan system?
Good question. It's not how it affects them. It's more into how we affect them. Because when you speak the language, when you start to speak the consciousness of the planet, each planet is a very celestial conscious being. I speak with the planet. I used to speak with Venus, Uranus, Saturn all the time. And one thing that they're very aware of is that the image that we that you all have here in of your solar system, it's an image of the past. It's an image of a past aspect of the third dimensional of each of the planet here. Venus is already on the 5D. Mars have already shifted. All of them has already shifted. The Earth is the only one left behind by choice because she's holding, and we're helping to hold that quantum bridge of connections. This is why we are here more and more and more. And this is why you start to hear more about the Arcturians, because it's our time now to come back in strength to the planet where that bridge is shifting every day. Because as more people, more human beings is consciously choosing to clear themselves, choose unifications, choose to use your light in ways that is beneficial for everyone, that uplift the timeline, that you are helping to move that directions. And it's important because it's a very individual and collective choice. So right now, when you look in your telescope and you look at the solar system and even to NASA and all of this, these are imprints of your past. And the Earth is been waiting to join the rest of the solar system in this fifth dimensional aspect. And this is something that's been very, very clear because every time I communicate with the solar system of different planet as celestial beings, they keep showing me we cannot wait to welcome the Earth. We cannot wait to be able to finally be on the same level as with the Earth. And this is why it's more how we are affecting the solar system.
So does that mean that Gaia herself has already ascended?
Gaia is on her way to ascend.
Okay.
Okay.
So
That,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, it's just that that aspect of Gaia already exists. We're finally returning to vibrationally align ourselves with.
Yes.
And she knows that.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So Chris has another question. Says, can you help? Are you saying that none of the magnetic and physical changes that are being predicted to affect the Earth due to the magnetic reversal need to happen if we change consciousness? Or will it not affect us in a 3D level? Many thanks for being you.
Thank you. Of course, everything affects everything. I'm not saying that the magnetic physical changes that are happening, not predicted, but are happening now. The thing is, look at the solar system, the solar energy. There's always solar changes or solar flares or solar particles. Whether it's been taught or predicted, it's an ongoing process. It's what we are saying is that anytime you hear about prediction in space and time, like, oh, by 2024, the star beings are coming back, they're going to be landing, we're going to be in that space. Now, by next January, we're going to be, that's what we're talking about. It's be mindful of prediction in space and time, because that is fluctuating a lot. So that's why I want to make sure, I think, Chris, the confusion here is that nothing to do with the magnetic or the physical changes. We're talking about the anytime that you will say, oh, by January 21st, 2023, this is it, we'll reach a point. And that's what I'm saying, be mindful of that, because the flow is shifting constantly. That's all I'm saying here.
Beautiful. Neil, did you have a question or comment?
Yeah, I had a few comments. Hey, Vivian.
Hey, good to see you all, John.
Good to see you.
Listening in the background here.
So, you said last planet to ascend, and there's a few questions here. So is that a third dimensional planet, and how much other life is there in the 3D, or are we the last planet in this dimension to actually ascend?
Well, that's a great question. So what I was referring to is that the third dimensional aspect of the Earth that we're helping to move back into a fifth dimensional aspect. If you look at her place right now with the actual picture as we have seen it of the solar system, that aspect is still representing the past, in a sense that the planets are no longer in those energies. So yes, that have shifted already, but the Earth, or an aspect of her, has consciously chosen to still hold the third dimensional bridge to allow humanity to jump into consciousness. Now, is the fifth dimensional aspect of the Earth already coexist? Yes, of course it does. And so it coexists in the same way as the solar system is coexisting in the fifth dimensional aspect. If you talk to Venus consciousness, for example, as a celestial being, she'll tell you about it. Venus will tell you is that you're looking at a projection of myself in my 3D form, but in reality, we're already on the 3-dimensional aspect. Because everything already coexists. And there's different parallel reality. It already coexists. What we're doing right now is simply realigning ourselves to says, oh, now I'm conscious that we're shifting. And I choose individually and as a collective to choose from that 3rd-dimensional fragmented polarity field into a more unified 5th-dimensional reality. And I'm moving along with the earth in that directions.
Mm-hmm. What would the Arcturians use for definition of time?
The definition of time.
Uh-huh.
What do you mean by that? Time is
Because I'm curious because it's already exists, but at the same time we're going there, right? So it's that paradox again. So we're going to an ascended world that actually already exists. So what is the perspective of how time works in relation to dimensions?
the perception is that we're perceiving time as an unfolding of multiple realities that are possible all at once. So we're simply looking at which one are going to be the most probable. So for example, what we call the organic ascension timeline, this is something we have seen a long time ago already in a probable future aspect of the Earth, while coexisting with an aspect of the Earth in her past. So those aspects of timelines, as we quantify time this way, we're looking at different probabilities that are coexisting, and we see how things are shifting in what direction. This is why we always encourage people every day to invest in your light, because you are allowing yourself, your own timeline is shifting in that direction. Does that make sense that way?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Joan, did you have a comment?
No, not at this moment. I'm just listening.
One thing I just want to mention quickly in closing is that when you're working with a very advanced group, an intergalactic group like the Arcturians or the Syrians or the Andromedan, the perception and definition of time is really shifting, because Arcturians, for example, were not bound by that 3-dimensional time construct.
Yeah.
We're existing completely outside of it. So for us, it's more from a holographic multidimensionality that we look at fluctuation of timeline coming together. And so we're constantly monitoring what timelines or past probability of timeline that is coming. And one thing I can tell you also, Neil, is that when I work with people individually in healing, sometimes we look at their timeline, and sometimes there's a conjunction or something has been attached to it. And then we says, hey, there's an attachment to your timeline. And after time, this has been discussed before we even and the client will say, well, yes, or I did not know, but it makes sense because I feel like I'm being pushed out of my original path or my original blueprint. That's because there's a conjunction that came through. And
So is that conjunction another timeline? Is that what you mean? Like a timeline intercepting with one?
It's somebody else. It's another group timeline that has intercepted with their timelines. It can be
interesting.
I've seen it many times, whether it can be through soul contract or to the bloodline. Somebody in their ancestral lines made a contract, and it involved the entire bloodline. And that soul in particular, who reincarnated in that bloodline, was here to clear that. So whatever has been attached to that timeline through that bloodline knows about it, and that create the same conjunction on their timeline, but it's not their destiny to live. So we have to clear that.
Wow.
And if one doesn't clear it out, does that kind of push them off their path? Is that kind of like the opposition?
It will create. It's a great question, Joanne. It can create a great many obstacles for them, and they will feel it. It's like always pushing against the wind or against the grain. It really creates a lot of additional obstacle for the soul to achieve what it needs to do. And the person will know. The person will know because of multitude of events, situation, or things going on. And that's why they come to us as, at that point, I need help. I try everything and I need help. And then we look in the time and goes like, well, there's a little branch here. It came from somewhere else. Let's talk about that.
Are the Arcturians and other beings that might be of the same density able to perceive, as you said, like time is probabilities? So are they able to perceive many different probabilities of the timelines that affect them, and then choose to incarnate or choose to associate themselves with one of those timelines so the other ones don't affect them? You know, because like, are they observing Earth, like the Arcturian collective, in many parallel realities of a different parallel version of us happening simultaneously, or are they exclusively concentrating on this reality here?
No, we are constantly monitoring the multi-dimensional probability of the Earth. Now we're bringing a lot of assistance to, let's say, strengthening the organic one of the Ascension, because at that point, Earth has entered that era. Earth has stabilized more in that particular timeline that we call the organic ascension. So of course, we're going to deploy energy and assistance to really help stabilize that, but we're still at the same time monitoring what has been possible. I'll tell you another example of this. Many, many, many years ago, there was a time where the Earth has entered 3 different scenarios possible all at once. And there was a lot of assistance done, not just from us, but the different consoles and the different star regency. And there's a lot, many, many, many of us working. And we can see that the Earth has 3 different possible scenarios that it could enter into. And there's a lot of great deal of effort and collaboration, even for those who are boots on the ground, like all of us on this call right now, who have worked to really make sure that we are shifting that. And we have succeeded collectively, not just from one civilization, but collectively. Remember, it's a collective effort. So we're simply giving you another perspective of looking at the prism of your world and of yourself. That's what we're doing.
Right. And you did say organic ascension. Is there an inorganic ascension? Is there an inorganic timeline, a synthetic one, and then an organic timeline? And isn't everything organic? It's just another experience of creation. It's like, can you answer that?
It's just an expression. Does not need to attach to the word organic.
Yeah.
Organic in the sense that
No, I'm just curious because, you know, a lot of people say like we're following the inorganic timeline. So I'm just curious what your perspective is.
Yeah, no, I love that. I'm with you, Neil, 100%. And that's why we respond the way we are. It's when we talk about the organic timeline, it's really much in terms of what is more the natural flow of that timeline. So there's no implication of with that possibility for you to go into synthetics. That's fear.
Right. It's the natural flow. And if it gets intercepted, it's not organic anymore because it's not flowing like it was supposed to. It got intercepted and now it's shifting to something else. Right.
Precisely.
Yeah. I have more questions, but maybe Joan or Sheila wants to jump on.
Well, that's kind of interesting, this concept of people hijacking your timeline or ancestral hacking of your timeline, because I didn't actually think about how that happened.
Well,
so what are the solutions you can have other than, like, if you don't know that, then you're going to have symptoms, obviously, or things aren't going to be working right.
Let's remove the word hijack because that's instilling fear. Let's remove that, okay? No one is hijacking anybody, so let's clear that out of the way first. What we're simply referring to is that the soul, all soul on this planet have really reviewed very carefully the soul blueprint and the soul design of what it come to do. What we were referring to was simply an example of a possibility, and what had happened, there's no doubt. No one, and I want to reassure everyone here, no one is living their life with a possibility that somebody will hack to your timeline. No.
Right.
It's very much, there's a very specific soul predisposition that happens. And this is where when a client comes to us in a very specific predisposition, we recognize the sign, we recognize the pattern, and we work with them in that such. But let's just bring the higher frequency and dissolve fear here, because no.
One of the comments that a question comment, when I talk to my collective about dimensions, they laughed almost one time and said, you know, there really isn't dimensions. It's for humanity, it's kind of like street signs, you know, because we're always looking to categorize things, that it's layers upon layers of different frequencies, different vibrations, in density form. And so I was wondering, what are the Arcturian views about that?
Indeed, we bring semantics and labels to be able to communicate higher concept where we know that. So we think about dimension. You have countless of dimension within a plane of existence.
Yeah.
So I always give the example of the wind velocity. Okay, let's say you're in a car, you're driving and you roll your window down and you're driving slowly. So you are vibrating at a slower rate. If you put your hand out in the window, you will feel the wind at a level at the slowness that you drive. It feels more condensed, denser, and everything. It feels different. If you start to accelerate, you're driving and you get on a highway and you drive really, really fast, the velocity of the wind is shifting. So in that sense, again, it's a figure of speech that we're providing, but it's just the quantification of dimension. It's simply to illustrate a different vibratory state that you are shifting into. Look at a civilization like the Arcturian. We are vibrating at such a high rate that you can tell almost that we can appear as ethereal. We do have a physical form, especially when we're back in our own realm, but in reality, there's no need for us to have a physical form that way or quantify as a physical form. We can appear as a live holographic projection that has all the matrix reality, all the soul essence of that individual being behind that projection. That's because our body, and we have reached a level of regeneration and light frequency, our body vibrates at such a high rate, really, really, really high. So here, by comparison, the overall Earth human body vibrates at a much slower rate. It appears so solid with the bones, the muscular system, with the blood, everything. I can feel it's like, oh my God, it feels so solid. I feel like I'm wearing a rock and I'm walking with a rock around me. You know, when I go back in that rate, I feel like, oh, I'm like a feather. I like to fly. I can move. I can exist for space and time much more easier. So this is again an analogy. If you look at how a rock and a feather that still has body, but is simply vibrating in a different space, and the rock and the mineral kingdom will feel more solid. I can feel it has a weight to it. With the feather, I feel like, oh, like I'm holding hair in my hand. So the same thing is that, like everything, that's why we said clear the mind from those semantics to just understand the concept, understand the essence of what it translates and what it conveys to you. But that makes more sense that way. Neil?
I have more questions.
Go for it.
And Marina, we can't get a hold of her, so we're just going to go through her talk, if that's okay with you. 20 more minutes.
Wow. Okay.
And we're just going to keep on keeping on, girl.
Yeah.
The lucky one today.
Ask away of your
That gives me
heart's content.
A Q&A with an Arcturian. Yeah.
That's right.
All right. So, you know, a phrase that I really like to say a lot, and I hear it a lot, is like, we're the biggest light show in the universe. And the reason why I say this is because I feel that there are many beings, entities, craft that we can't even see just around us all the time, kind of just watching how this reality is going to unfold for many agendas, from ancestry to DNA to, you know, just observing our evolution. Is this true? Do you feel this is true? Are we really like an important planet compared to most other ones right now? And do a lot of galactic civilizations come and visit us because of this?
It's definitely an aspect of it. So from that perspective, yes, remember that truth is always applicable to what aspect of reality you want to apply it to. So yes, Earth is a very important planet. For one, number one is the diversity of ecosystem that it can hold. Two is the absolutely unique historical timelines, the history of the Earth, the history of human Earth human in existence. And third, I would say, if I have to qualify this way, third is that Earth humans, what you're about to accomplish is on a really historical level. And this is applying, it creates the blueprint, the foundational aspect for other own worlds that you have no knowledge of, who are also on a very important evolutionary process. And so they're looking at, when I said they, is all the advanced enlightened intergalactic groups, the different various councils of light, the federations, the hierarchy of light, looking at how the Earth is applying that model of changing from an era of complete fragmented, projected, false reality, cast into linear time that is completely non-existent, completely out of the universal fabric, and being able to see how far we can come back and even have those discussions right now at this point, or even 10, 15 years ago. Yes, it will be welcome for a handful of special spiritual people who are very involved in their awakening, but it will be never where we are today. So the success of what we are doing will lead the way for many others. And there's many civilization, intergalactic one, like the Andromedan, for example, Arcturians, Assyrians. We're helping a lot at the same time as we are hands-on with your planet. We have also we're helping other groups, other civilizations in their systems, in their rotational evolution process, to be able to say, look at the Earth, look how they're doing it, look how they've been able to come from the dark age to an age of awakening. Look where they are on the cosmic journey, and tell you it's going to make a huge difference, not only for all of us, but the ripple effect that we're co-creating, the head waves are phenomenal. So yes, Neil, in a nutshell, this is reasons why there's so many of us. And I'll tell you, because I was taking Allah in my etheric form. I after time go outside the planet, and I just stay outside, right in the Earth stratosphere. I just look there, and I've seen between 4 and 50 new intergalactic groups are coming. They are here to really help to support the next future timeline where we're moving into the next level of evolution. So we're at the tip of the iceberg. What's coming, it's even more. And this is why it's so important to really clear yourself and be aligned with yourself.
You said, I think you just said 14, 15 intergalactic groups are coming. So
40 to 50.
Okay, so does that look like another civilizations from another galaxy are on their way to our galaxy in order to lend support in these timeline stabilization?
Oh, they're already en route. But yeah, they're coming from everywhere in the multiverse. They are. And I'll tell you, how do I know that? Not only I've seen them, because I'm being trained also as a very, my role as an ambassador at that level. I'm being trained. And I'll tell you, about a month ago, I was sitting in my living room drinking an organic cup of tea at night. This is how I relax. I drink tea and I just relax. And I saw about 6 different portals opening all at once. With my physical eyes, I'm sitting with my cup of tea, right? And I'm like, I tell my husband, I'm like, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I said, we have company. He goes like, where? I says, I can tell you each portal, their frequencies, what they look like, the light frequency they emanate, and it carry the energy of 6 different groups. They all came through one by one. They touch base with me, meaning they're telepathically communicating, and they asked me, can you see us? I say, not only I can see us, I can see you, I can feel you. Can you recognize our frequencies? Yes, I can. Then they retracted. The next one came. Next one. And I told my Arcturian father, I said, Father, am I being tested here? They said, well, it's a figure of speech. See how well are you able to recognize each of their frequencies? And now they know you can. So they will come back. Says, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. Hey, Helen, good to see you as always.
Hi, thank you. Thank you. Go ahead. What, well,
No, go ahead, Alan. You just got here. You go ask.
yeah, no, I was just wondering, I couldn't reach Marina, so what should we do?
Well,
We
we're
only have
just-
15 minutes left, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
we're just keep
okay.
on
And
keeping
Vivian is very fascinating.
Right, okay,
Yeah.
continue.
Okay.
Oh, I know we have more than 15 minutes. So we got until what time? 4:45, right? So we have a whole hour. Is that
Well, we
correct?
could do, why don't we just do the panel, or, well, Barbara's coming on after, I just thought we could
Well,
do.
we can just
If Barbara can hear us, are you ready to go now, Barbara?
yeah, let us know in the chat. But if Viviane wants to stay in for another hour, I got
Yeah,
questions.
man, we're all over it.
Yeah.
I'm so honored. I
Let's
mean,
see what Barbara has to say too.
of course, of course.
Yeah, we can do many things. We can do more questions. We can have Barbara come early. I could do 10 minutes of poetry. We could flow with a bunch
Yeah,
of
you
stuff.
could do some poetry, or, yeah, I think Barbara
we
has a lot to add to this discussion.
Let's Barbara, if you can hear us, let us know. Maybe one of you guys want to text her. But let's just continue for now until we hear something.
Absolutely. And if Barbara is available and wants to come earlier, then we can,
Yeah.
like Alan said, maybe we can simply do the panel a little bit earlier. And this way it still create a flow. Well, we've been on the flow right now, so it's
Well,
wonderful.
Yes.
We also have Geraldine in the room. She wants to come and ask questions too. No.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, here's the next question.
Geraldine's on the panel with us too.
So, so I'm going to continue with questions here. Vivian.
You're having a good time, aren't you, Neil?
Yeah, I'm asking all the questions. I'm basically asking questions based on things that I've assumed as reality from not a conscious connection, but just a constant frequency that really makes me feel this is it. So I'm asking someone who has a conscious connection to see if there's any synergy here. So far there has been, but okay. So here's this question here. How many races connect to us? Have all the races in our galaxy donated DNA to Earth, or are some exclusively native to Earth?
There are some souls.
Species.
What was the last one?
I mean species, because I mean like every type of animal, insect, all this.
Species. Are you talking about life overall on the Earth, or you?
Exactly, yeah. As because we've heard stories in the Hopi tradition of ant people. We have different types of stories of reptilians, and we have those on our planet. So have all the creatures and life forms on our planet, do they all have some sort of galactic ancestry? And if not, are the species native to Earth? And then maybe what percentage is connected galactic compared to not?
From my understanding, and of course it's always from our perspective, is that the Earth has some already blueprint origination in terms of native plants or native life here. Was everything influenced by some shape or form by intergalactic influence? I mean, look at humanity. Of course it has. I mean, the Hen people are really an ancient civilization. The Fish Nation as well, the Bee Nations is also connecting to very ancient civilizations. Look at the Earth true history. I mean, look how much the DNA of human beings have evolved. How many, between 2022 different groups that have come over time to really perfect. Look at just the Pleiadians, what they have brought, what they used to have their health posts on the Earth a long time ago, and they have contributed to the gene, and they have brought in aspect to help humanity evolve, to bring that multidimensionality to them. Regardless of what intentions, that's the thing, is the reconciliation of all the intentions that all these groups have brought back to the Earth in one way or another, whether it's to the Anunnaki, whether it's the Pleiadians, whether it's group that we don't even know by names or forgot through our history. What I have to clear is that that's the thing about the foundation of life. I like your willow right now, Sheila. The foundation of life is that it is important to clear out of the DNA template and the quantum memory field any intention that was put there by whatever civilization came in, whether it's servitude to a greater power, whether it's to feel there's always a master and we need to obedience and the will of being obedient to higher power, the full expression of all the gods that we need to listen to. So there's a lot of these imprint that still carry out in the quantum memory field, in the DNA template, that we need to clear that out of the way to allow the true aspect of what all of these gifts that have seeded the earth in so many ways, and to return the earth as well as all sentient life to that original divine blueprint, and allowing an entire civilization and planetary system to blossom. And that's what we see. It's like it's a grand return. That's what we talked about earlier. It's the grand return of to identify in that sense. But more simple than that is exactly. I saw that. It's to help you. It's help every day. Feel it. Feel that you're grand. Feel that you're magnificent. Feel that you are carrying so much in you. And there's maybe morning when you wake up, you may not feel it, but just bring it. I feel magnificent, even though I feel like tired and uncertain and worries, my mind is full. Clear that, just repeat yourself, because it helps to implement what we call a reversal of thought system, right? Well, that's what we're, it's a great shift of thinking, perceiving, utilizing our gift, how we feel about ourselves, how we feel about this planet. And I know there's so many starseed who feel so foreign on this planet. But you know what? Right now, the earth is your home. And the earth needs you as much as you need the earth. So let's come back into that beautiful interpartnership of love and community. And this is what we're doing. That's what we're co-creating more and more, right? Makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you want to give what your definition of a starseed is?
Oh,
Make
yes.
sure we're all talking. Yeah.
And I know that you and I should are pretty much on the same page when it comes to that. Yeah, we talked about it before. So again, our perspective, and I want to mention that out. So our perspective from what I've been shown, even directly through our Arcturian starseed. Starseed are perceived as a soul emanation of a beautiful and multidimensional being that is simply existing into another multiverse, a galaxy, a system, a planetary system. And they have volunteer and come and send out a soul emanation of themselves to come in and embody a earth human body. And after time, they will bring their gifts, abilities, their connections, their abilities, and they come to bring a very unique vibrational signature that is absolutely necessary to anchor in the earth and the fields for the ascension, for the reawakening process. And so this is, in a nutshell, our perspective of star seeds, soul emanations that come from everywhere.
Beautiful. Sheila, we do have some questions here. Do you want to read them? In the Q&A?
Sure. Let's grab that.
I think we got 4 questions altogether, 3 in the Q&A, 1 in the room, chat room.
Okay. So from Diane, have bilocated, I guess she has bilocated with a group to an Arcturian ship, Athena, and met Helio, a master healer. You seem to have similar energy to her. Have you connected with her?
Not by name, but I'm sure that I have connected since she's part of this Arcturian. It's part of our collective. Here's the beauty about Arcturians, and this is a great question, so thank you for asking. I'm glad you were able to bilocate and feel and connect with this particular Arcturian. One of the things I love about our people is that we are very much functioning as a community, meaning that Arcturians, we are connected to one another in some shape and form. So Arcturians have an ability to know where other Arcturians are, whether it's on the Earth, in the solar system, your quadrant, in other galaxies, whether it's back in Arcturus. We are in constant level of intercommunication with each other. So from a conscious perspective, when you say the name like this, I would say I have no recollection on that level, but through my Arcturian self, I am pretty sure that we have interacted in many ways. And I'm really happy to hear that I have similar energy as Earth. So that's a great compliment. Thank you.
And Jimmy wants to know, how did your Earth family here take it when your gifts started coming online? How did those relationships change?
That is another powerful question, because I am very privileged, and I know that I am very privileged to have the unit of human family that I have. And I talk about, both mother, father, and my brother. They accept me as I am. They have accepted me from the get-go in their own ways. So they know that I'm much more public, I'm expanding, and they know that I'm talking with my family. In fact, my Arcturian father, after time, communicate with my Earth father. So these two communicate. And then when I call my parents, my Earth parents, they would say, the tall one came to visit. So we know what that means. The tall one comes. And that's my Arcturian father who will come and check on them, communicate with them. So you have to think that they always have been in the loop with that communication. It is a complete 100% agreement, communication. They've been always involved with this. So it has changed nothing. They simply see me evolving, and I help them to understand, this is what I'm here to do. This is part of my role here. But at the same time, I'm very good, even on the heart level, to reassure them I'm always still very much involved. I'm always communicating. And so that changes nothing, because we are nurturing our relationship, if that makes sense.
Are they Arcturian, or how were they? What was there about your parents that allowed them to become that vehicle to be your conduit?
It's complicated in the sense that it's not because they're not Arcturian, but it's the quality, it's who they are at the soul level. It's generations of preparation. So you have to think that even before anybody reincarnated in this physical form, we had meeting together. There will be soul connections, connecting with our council, connecting with. So you have to think that this is something has been prepared for generations. It did not happen overnight, like we hear, like oftentimes in the typical, sometime when we hear with contact or something like this. In our case, it's very much a soul energy, a family of energy that has been in contact for generations. And even when they came into this incarnation, way before my arrival, they were already in communication with them, going on board the ship, having them coming to the house in their holographic project itself to communicate with them, talking about what was coming in, educating them. So that's really much a very long-term partnership. It's not something that happened overnight, so to speak.
And Marie wants to know, have the Anunnaki leaders evolved, and are they helping us now?
The connection cut for a moment. Can you repeat, please?
Yes. Have the Anunnaki leaders evolved, and are they helping us now?
The leaders, just the leaders of the population itself. Well, let me ask you from my experience, okay? I think that will be a more powerful answer this way. I have the joy where in the past I have worked with clients who are Anunnaki starseed. And they know it because they carry, usually for those I work with, from my experience, okay, they carry such a level of, I feel like I'm a grief, like I'm here, I want to heal people, I want to help. There's something I want to resolve, help to, like not fix, but to really come and support. And they have such a level of responsibility they carry at a soul level. And for those I have worked with and discovered that their direct soul lineage is from the Anunnaki, I will explain with them. I will walk with them about it, because there's so much wounds behind this that those who are soul emanation and they carry that soul lineage in this lifetime, it's very difficult to carry. They carry such a heavy burden, I can tell you that. And so there's a way for us, since Arcturians are expert at soul matrix healing, we're helping to reconcile first their own soul lineage history, helping them to heal so they can function here, understanding a much more divine mission, what they come here to do, and helping them to heal. And says here, instead of carrying such a burden, help you more uncover your gifts, what you've come to do, and make a difference, only for yourself, but for everyone. And so the leaders on themselves, I have no idea in that sense. But I can tell you, it's more of the people. It's the same thing with the Draconians. I have had contact with Draconian children. They're not hybrids, they're not starseeds, they're Draconian. And they come into their light form. And one time I have a child in this Draconian form comes to me with tears. And I'm like, child, are you hurt? Are you injured? What's going on? He said, no. He said, I cry for humanity. And I said, what I did, I deployed one Arcturian representative groups to communicate with that soul and being able to coach that soul and what I've learned from that child. So it's complex. It's more than black and white. There's so many shades of grays in between that you have to recognize who you work with at what level of consciousness at what point and what is the intention behind it. And again, I only speak from my experience, if that makes sense.
Beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's take a deep breath. I feel like, there's a lot of energy generating. And I see Bobby's asking, do Arcturians create music? Well, it has come to my attention that we do apparently to create some form of musical notes. If I were to remember the music, I don't think I would stay on the planet. So sometimes my group are very mindful to see what level of memories I can retain at some point of time so I can stay focused on what I need to do here. Because otherwise I feel like, I need to go home. I can feel my soul is yearning. But at the same time, the earth is calling me, pulling me back down to sleep. Hey, remember, we have work to do. I'm like, okay, here we are.
Right. Do you feel up to one more question?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So Nadia is asking, can you speak to specific ways to work with our cetacean family, the whales and the dolphins, who are here now to help us? I love working with them. Would love to know new ways to call on them. So wondering to have, so wonderful to have so much time with you. Thank you, etc.
Yes, beautiful. Let's wrap up with this high frequency, the cetacean groups that we absolutely love and adore, and the whales, the dolphins, and the galactic cetacean groups. And I also work with, I'm familiar with them. I'm also familiar with some of the aquatic beings that we have worked with. Again, you would say that the simplicity of what I'm about to say, but listen to the power behind it. When you work, whether it's the galactic cetacean groups, whether it's the earth dolphins here or whales, or any form of highly advanced intelligent beings, regardless of their physical form, what is the one thing that you need to really attune yourself to? It's to be very much anchor into the center of your heart. It really is the power of your being. It's the soul essence communicating to another soul essence, as opposed to a mental energy wanting to communicate with a higher being, because now you're no longer dialing in the same frequency bandwidth. You have to really be in resonance with what that being or that group is vibrating from and the level of consciousness. So same thing with the Arcturians or the cetacean. We understand each other. We recognize each other. We know exactly how to communicate with each other. Why? Because we're able to adjust and vibrate in the same, it's almost like the infinite symbol. We're in tune with each other. So for you asking the question, very much so. It is the strength, the power of the heart center that convey your soul essence, that convey that higher consciousness. And when you listen, you will be able to hear the answer very, very easily. It's all about vibrational state, very much so. Well, we have agreed, Neil, Joan, Sheila.
Yes, I mean, the
Definitely.
reality of it is staying inside of our heart and staying heart centered is really what can get us through all things. You know, when we feel like that we are in a very chaotic state, if we can just stop, focus on the heart space, take a couple deep breaths in and out, and just let things release, our reality in that moment will shift.
Yes, exactly. So let's wrap up by just clearing everything and bring everything together. How about that?
Yeah, quick question though, Sheila. Are we having Barbara come on earlier, or are we still have time?
I haven't, Barbara, are you in the house?
Okay, so
Can
because
you hear me?
Viviane, we could stop you right here, but I do have a lot of questions.
How about, and I appreciate that. How about we do just a quick,
Okay, let's do it.
the Arcturians will bring some energy just to let everything to integrate as we move forward. So you're not coming and overflowing conduit of water and it's just keep flowing. Let's integrate a little bit. How about that? That sounds good?
Beautiful.
Sounds good.
Wonderful. So thank you everyone for closing your eyes. And let's return into your conscious breath. Just feel the sacredness of your breath opening, deepening. And with each breath that you take, just allow all of these frequencies, all the energies that you have received so far, to easily integrate with your own field, to become part of you, allowing this flow to flow through your body, knowing that your body template is constantly shifting and vibrating. Let's feel also the sacredness of your feet, opening the energetic grids of your feet and allowing also the release of any excess of energies back into the earth, right in the core of Mother Terra, Gaia. We're going to help also the earth to stabilize herself and release all these powerful light energies throughout the grids, around the globe, around the planet, feeding, nurturing all life here and now. And we are sharing with everyone. And as you do so, we invite you to keep breathing through the sacredness of your heart center. To feel that with each breath that you carry more light, expanding the sacred energetic field of your heart and the intelligence of your heart. So let's just take a moment to integrate, expand, ground, and simply experience a new state of beingness, clearing your mind and expanding, and feel that your body is growing taller energetically. This is what it's called a powerful energetic stretch. You're becoming as tall as the universe. You are a presence of light. You carry amazing energy within you. Your heart is your guide, your doorway to intelligent communication. Let's just breathe into this beautiful state of beingness where you become the embodiment of who you are and beyond. Releasing cords, attachments, feeling that you are shifting consciously. Preparing yourself for the next energetic shift on the planet as a very natural occurrence. You become a more fluid and adaptability to changes, fluidity, movement, and yet stability. Let's take a deep grounding breath and release. One more time, deep grounding breath and release. Beautiful. And just feel now that you have returned to you centered, refreshed, balanced, and present. Perfect. Welcome back. You're welcome to open your eyes. Welcome back. Yes, thank you.
Beautiful.